Everyone, this is Jay Beeks, and I'm speaking on behalf of Maram Hasway and myself. We want to thank everyone for their participation this week and all the thoughtful contributions that we had. We thought we got on some really interesting discussions. Also, we'd like to thank Candace for facilitating everything this week and sort of getting us back on track after last week, which seemed to be a bit of a comedy of errors with Moodle, so we're all getting used to that a little bit better. This topic this week was, as I'm condensing it here, it's managing classroom behavior and, in an online environment and the challenges of working in an online environment. So the lesson summary that we have this week is really two categories as I broke them down. One is over and under participation and communication of expectations, and the other is, broadly speaking, involvement of administration and preparation for grievances. So Maram and I have been working on this, trying to condense this down a bit, and we've come up with a summary of the key points for this week. And again, we ended up with two sort of broad areas of interest. The first is over and under participators, and the second has to do with disruptive students, which I think got us into a few more interesting conversations because of that, the implications of that particular subject. So the following are some key points that came up that appeared to apply to both of these areas of interest. And again, we're talking about over and under participation and disruptive students. So the following key points are we need to correct actions in private. We need to reach out for help and guidelines. There was a little bit of a gray area there, but I think everybody agrees that it doesn't hurt to ask for help when you think you need it. We need to be aware of personality types. We got into some great discussions on personality types, but I won't go into those here. The instructor is required to manage the class. So we need to expect and set high expectations and set and reset class expectations. We also need to lead by example, be open-minded and supportive, focus on learning and push the intellectual discussions forward, stress the positive, and then think before we act. The following key points appear to apply more toward the subject of disruptive students. Again, we got off on several interesting areas there. So the idea is that some disruptions can be tolerated, particularly as they lead to important breakthroughs. And creativity experiences and new areas of exploration can come about as a result of some of these disruptions. So therefore, some things are disruptions and some things are maybe not such disruptions. Maybe they're just areas of exploration. However, when these things get to the point where we start having concerns about the feelings of other students, or that perhaps things are getting personal, then the instructor must protect the learning environment, and the instructor must act as a kind of control rod to absorb the radioactivity, also diffuse emotions, and control the dialogue. Therefore, it is the instructor's responsibility to get involved when they need to in these situations. The instructor cannot and should not take things personally, and the need is there to meet with and talk to the perpetrator in person and let them vent on such occasions. So some words of wisdom from this class. I took a couple of quotes from individuals. I'm sure I didn't get all the quotes that I could have, and I may have not have gotten your best quotes, but I just kind of randomly took these. So from Angela, there were so many conversation hooks that Angela provided, I was having a hard time not commenting on a lot of her stuff. I may have to spray the dog here in a second. Hang on a second, I'll let you see my two co-workers here, because you can kind of hear them in the background. So real quick here, see if we can see Lily. Lily, come here. Can you all see Lily down here? Let's see. Okay, here, look at the camera. This is Lily. She's our Shiba Inu. She's about 2.5. Lulu, come here. This is Lulu. Can you see Lulu? Lulu is our English Cocker Spaniel field bred, and she's about 9 months. Anyway, these are my two co-workers. Okay, I'll get back to this. So again, some disruptions can be tolerated. I'm getting on to the discussion with Angela here. Here's your quote. Timing and respect are key. The goal is to create and maintain an environment conducive to learning for all. I've got a quote here from Paul Frisch. Over-participation is certainly not unique to online learning, but its repercussions may be greater and if not attended to can adversely affect the learning environment for others. A quote from Gina, for over-participation, I would also connect privately and ask the student to be mindful of others in the class so that everyone has a chance to participate. From Paul Rogers, I give them respect and I expect their word in return. I will allow a student to poke the bear once. After a second time, the student and I will have a private conversation. I have never, all capitals for the word never, experienced a third occurrence. From Ram, I will set proper expectations around conflict initially. Reflect back on what works and what makes it successful. From Kurt, Binder may be right that students may say things online they wouldn't say in person. I'm okay with that, as long as what is said is not a personal attack. Instead, attack the issue. Be tough on a conceptual point of difference. Don't be afraid to provide real-world organizational experiences. We don't all have the same experiences. And then I had to quote my wife as well, because I tend to take what she says very seriously, and I live by much of what she says. And she's been a counselor for over 20 years, going on 25 actually. And her favorite mantra is talk very little and listen very much, which is something I need to pay attention to, and that's one of the reasons why I want to make sure I don't go over here. So this is a quick summary on some of the discussions this week. Ram and I both thought that the discussions were very interesting, even vibrant at times. And I know I had a hard time not jumping into some of the discussion threads, which caught my interest, but I was able to control myself, I think, for the most part. Anyway, thanks again, everyone. This has been a fun week, and we'll see you online next week. Thank you.